Patrick Herbst, and welcome to the Transition Assistance Program. The next 3 days we'll be talking about many things in relation to your job search, but there's two big things I want you to take away from this. These whole 3 days, actually. One is your job search itself, and the other is goal setting. Now, there's lots of components for those two things, but the main thing you need to worry about is the job search, goal setting. Job search, goal setting. Two big things to take away from this. Now, we're going to start off just talking a little bit about job searching, and I want to touch on one thing right now while I got you here, and that's social media. Social media is something that's become very prevalent in the job search. And for some employers, actually, it might be more important than a resume. It might be more important than your cover letter or anything. Marketing execs, things like that. Most companies all have social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, and having a familiarity with those accounts and how they're being used is something that would be very important for a job seeker to know. Additionally, be aware of your online presence. You know, the pictures from Cancun you took while you were on leave might look great to you and your buddies, but they're probably not something that you want an employer to see. Be aware of how you appear online. Google yourself. I guarantee that most employers are Googling you as well. And that's the first thing. The second thing we're going to talk about in this brief little introduction is goal setting. A large portion of our course is dedicated to goal setting. I'll use myself as an example. I separated from the Air Force on May 31st, 2011. And I sat in the same chairs that you're sitting in now. And I thought that I had a pretty good grip on where I was going to go. I was going to get a government job. I wasn't too worried about things. And I let a lot of things kind of go because I had a plan. But many things, best laid plans of mice and men kind of often go awry. Well, mine did. And I had already lost some of my support structure from the Air Force. I had lost some of that camaraderie, the sense of structure and belonging. There was always a guy ahead of you that knew what to do. There was always somebody to give you orders. Well, all that's gone. It was all up to me. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was a bit of a shock. It was a culture shock, for one, to go into the civilian world and to try and make sense of all these things that I was seeing. Eventually, what I knew I liked to do, I like to train, and I don't mind public speaking. This type of thing, actually, I kind of enjoy. So I started finding goals, setting goals to find roles that fit what I wanted to do. And if I knew I wanted to be a trainer, I knew I might have to find short-term goals in between. Setting a couple job contacts out a day. I knew I might even have to take a small job that I didn't like to get to the job that I did want. And that's all part of goal setting. Goal setting and social media are two things you can control. Having control of a situation will allow you to be more secure in your future, to understand where you're going, where you want to be, what you want to do. Maybe you want to be a student, maybe you want to be retired, maybe you want to be a middle manager, maybe you want to be a mechanic. All those things take resources and time. Think about the steps you'll need to be over the course of this 3 days. Think about the steps you'll need to be taking to get to those goals. Be they a 6-month goal, a 1-year goal, and a 5-year goal, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of that specific goal setting as we go along in the course. So to take away, to wrap things up for this little introduction about myself, and we're going to kind of go with this 3-day course, social media, controlling your online presence. It's a very, very important thing. Be well aware of what you're putting online. Employers are going to be looking, and that's the main thing. If you're trying to get a job, having your employer see something embarrassing online will sink you pretty quick. And 2, goal setting. Now, like I said, we're going to spend a whole afternoon, actually, later in the course talking about goal setting and how to write out these goals. And we're going to give you an acronym because the military loves acronyms, and you're going to feel safe with an acronym. We're going to do that, but don't worry about it for right now. For right now, all I want you to be concerned with is the goal setting itself. Something you need to start thinking about, something you need to start being aware of so you don't wind up like I was. I was unemployed for 8 months, and it became quite a strain on my financial resources. I had trouble meeting my bills, my mortgage. I was married at the time. It put a strain on my marriage. And there are a lot of things that are going to happen when you enter that culture shock. So for the next 3 days, I invite you to ask questions, be engaged in the process. This is going to go a lot smoother. I prefer to have more of a discussion than a class. And welcome to TAPS. Thanks.